You need to hear it from the unbiased comic journalist and not me, who cover all sorts of comic-related news on their website, bleedingcool.com. For those who really think the Perpetua creation was the real and true and first creation, it's clear you haven't read the comics and are sadly relying on really bad sources online that are likely feeding you misinformation on purpose. Believe me, I just recently slammed one of these people so hard that they fled the scene faster than the Flash and the Speed Force can even operate. Something happened right before Death Metal, where lots of heroes like the Red Racer start to remember things from the past eras of DC history and mention that they feel the entire universe was rebooted. They take notice to how things feel off, and like a reboot just recently happened, and things are clearly offset and not right, but they can't quite nail exactly what happened.
What?
The events happened just before the events of Justice League 2018 and Death Metal, which is when the final stages of Justice League Odyssey take place. The comics make it a point to the readers to try to cope with and understand that some type of cosmic reset just happened right then and there. Let's read the article. Of late, you haven't been able to move without DC Comics characters realizing that crises have happened within their continuity, resetting their lives, rewriting them, deleting them, and even restoring them. In today's Young Justice, it's Bart Allen, Impulse, who leads the assault, and it looks as if Wally West has been filling him in. I don't even know what to call it, but a while ago, I felt some of my memories felt mushy, and I got worried and confused by it. At first, I thought it might be the Speed Force related. I started talking to the other Flashes about it, and we wondered if maybe the Speed Force could maybe help me fill in some gaps. Gaps? Filling? You went time traveling? No, more like I started to see what I could do to... Did you break the multiverse? Me. No. I'm talking about the stuff we have actively tried to stop from happening. Stuff we defend the universe from. Chaos. But things have happened that completely changed the world, the universe, the everything. It feels like there were times where the crazy, I don't know, won. Or maybe it's all so above our heads we can't even say, but according to everything I've discovered, there's been time shifts, reality bends, reboots. Yeah, you heard me. With all the crazy creatures and power sources and cosmic nonsense in and out of our world, it's amazing it hasn't happened every other weekend, but there have been changes. Things have happened to us, around us, and under us, and the normals wouldn't even notice. Normals wake up and have no idea. But for people like us who actually face it, people like us who sometimes fly around or run through stuff like this, a crisis is a moment of true change in the universe. But what you didn't know, what no one could ever possibly know, is that while you were stuck on Gem World, there was at least one crisis here. The world changed. History changed. Our personal history with each other changed. And Connor, I don't know, without you in this dimension, reality, it kind of went on without you and it erased you. I want to say I'm relieved to hear this, but what the hell? It sounds like you're saying the whole universe got messed with. When was this exactly? Does this sound like a lot to anyone else? There's more besides this, and secrets are still being kept. But the idea about crisis, meaning chaos, well, today's Dark Knight's Metal 1 picks up on that just as we said it would, with Wally West, now with his powers of Dr. Manhattan narrating the world, or worlds as he sees it. So you can see that even journalists out there understand this, and most people did when they read DC at the time in 2018 to 2020. This was very clear stuff to us. It's just that lots of content creators online and in TikTok don't care about DC Comics and don't read it, so they have no idea what the full picture actually is. Psychopirate is another one who realizes this reset is fairly new, and the creation he's in is just a few months old. So due to his powers being that he can escape any prison, he left the entire creation of the Perpetua multiverse and found Darkseid sitting out there far above it, saying he wrote it and placed Psychopirate in there, and all the creation he lived in was a story plot that Darkseid wrote. Do you understand that when the comics say that Perpetua's multiverse is 20 billion years old, but then Psychopirate discovers that it's only a few months old? Do you understand that the first version, when they tell you Perpetua's actual creation age is 20 billion years old, that's not correct. That's not the actual fact. The actual fact is found out later to be untrue by Psychopirate and Red Racer and others. That entire creation that the hands were from was part of the reset and reboot that the others like Psychopirate and the Red Racer were feeling were offset and not right. The revision of time happened during the events of 2018 Justice League, or just before it, when the totality started to fly through time and space. Later, we found out that Darkseid's other box that revises reality through time manipulation, the same thing Red Racer and Psychopirate were noticing was wrong, was reading identical to the energy of the totality. Some people are just really stinky doo-doo at basic logic and investigations and see absolutely no link between Darkseid's other box reading identical to the totality and the totality itself. That's because they are trying to manipulate you into joining their social group and eventually getting you to donate money to them. You're being misled. You're being used. You're being tricked. The totality reads identical to Darkseid's other box because the other box wrote the story of the totality to do what it did. Stop letting others mislead you and unsubscribe from them. Especially take notice when they delete comments that say anything that debunks them, and magically no hate or flaming exists anywhere on their content, even after they admit to manipulating people with disabilities for profit and then laugh about it. This should be the red flag warning to everyone to not trust them in the slightest.